Hello and welcome to Crossfire, the show that dives into the heart of global conflicts, where nations collide, alliances shift, and lives hang in the balance. On tonight's show, we tell you how India is stepping up to meet the demand of global artillery shells as it aims to become the hub for 155mm artillery ammunition, catering to over 75 armies worldwide. Also on the show, we tell you about the rise in toxic gas strikes on Ukraine's army on the front line of the Ukraine war. Stay tuned as we break down these critical developments and explore their impact on the future of global power and security. From the fiery trenches of Ukraine to NATO's growing stockpiles, one weapon is rewriting the rules of modern warfare: artillery. And as the demand for firepower skyrockets, India is stepping up to lead the charge. Affordable, efficient, and rapidly rising as a global defense powerhouse, India is stepping in to fill Europe's critical ammunition shortage. But as India cements its role as a defense heavyweight, the question is, how will this bold step redefine global security and India's place in it? Our next report decodes this view.
What's fueling the fiercest battles across the globe? Artillery. And India is stepping up to meet a demand that's rising faster than ever before. From the brutal trenches of Ukraine to NATO's growing defense needs, a massive artillery boom is underway, and India is at its epicenter. Now, in a game-changing move, Indian companies are set to establish manufacturing lines in Estonia, right on Russia's doorstep. This isn't just about ammunition, it's about power, partnerships, and India's rise as a global defense heavyweight. The Ukraine-Russia war has reshaped global defense priorities. Howitzers and artillery shells, especially the 155mm rounds, are the weapons of choice, proving decisive in the battlefield. But this war has exposed a critical flaw in Europe's defense strategy: a massive shortage of ammunition. But India has now come to the rescue. Known for its affordable and efficient defense manufacturing, India is fast emerging as a global supplier of advanced artillery ammunition. After Poland and Slovenia, Estonia, a NATO member bordering Russia, is now seeking India's expertise to bolster its own defense capabilities. Estonia's Defense Minister Hanno Pevkur recently revealed that Indian companies are not just exploring opportunities, they're ready to invest in Estonia. In an exclusive interview, he said that talks go beyond ammunition to include the manufacturing of armed vehicles and even howitzers.
What we're hearing, of course, is that Europe has a significant need for more military ammunition as well as weaponry. India is, of course, trying to export more defense equipment. Do you think that India could position itself as a long-term supplier to your country as well as other European nations as a defense partner?
India is doing that already with cooperation with many, or in cooperation with many European companies. And of course, when we will see that some Estonian companies are doing the investment here in Estonia to start production of the 155mm ammunition for howitzers or for artillery, or to start production or assembling the howitzers, whatever it is, we clearly see that this benefits not only Estonian companies, but first and foremost the Indian companies who can sell more of their products into Europe and into NATO countries.
Estonia, a NATO ally that consistently meets its 2% defense spending requirement, is a critical partner for Europe. By working with India, it aims to strengthen its defense posture and contribute to NATO's collective efforts. So, why is Europe turning to India? The answer lies in efficiency and affordability. A single 155mm artillery shell made in India costs roughly $100,000, making it one of the cheapest globally. In comparison, Western and Russian-made shells cost double or even triple. The cost effectiveness is fueling India's artillery boom. 5 Indian companies, including Adani Defence, Bharat Forge, and Munitions India Limited, have been tasked with developing advanced artillery ammunition under the Ministry of Defense Make 2 procurement scheme. Their mission? To produce 25 rounds of 155mm terminally guided munitions and revolutionize India's defense export potential. Estonia's collaboration with India also reflects a broader trend: Europe's shift towards non-EU sources for defense supplies. But this partnership isn't just about ammunition, it's a statement. By setting up manufacturing lines in Estonia, Indian companies will be operating right on Russia's doorstep, sending a clear message about India's expanding defense influence. For India, this is part of a larger ambition. The country aims to become the global hub for 155mm artillery ammunition, catering to over 75 armies worldwide. From conflict zones multiplying, from Ukraine to West Asia, India's defense sector is poised for exponential growth. The collaboration with Estonia opens up new opportunities for Indian firms to access NATO markets, establish long-term contracts, and cement their position in the global defense supply chain. So, will this be the moment India transforms into a global defense superpower? Only time will tell.
Chemical weapons, symbols of warfare's darkest chapters, have returned to haunt Ukraine's front lines. Over 2,000 soldiers have been hospitalized, 3 lives have been lost, and countless others have been exposed to toxic agents in what Kyiv calls a deliberate escalation by Moscow. As international watchdogs investigate and Kyiv demands accountability, this crisis raises urgent questions. Will global powers act to stop the use of these inhumane weapons? Or will Ukraine be left to bear the devastating cost alone?
Chemical weapons, symbols of warfare's darkest chapters, have returned to haunt the front lines in Ukraine. Over 2,000 soldiers have been hospitalized, and at least 3 have died due to poisoning by toxic agents. This isn't just a tragedy, it's a seismic warning to the world about the brutal escalation in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. According to new reports, since the full-scale Russian invasion began, the use of chemical weapons has emerged as a horrifying new front. Ukraine's Radiation, Chemical and Biological Defense Command has now revealed chilling statistics. The Defense Command has now confirmed that thousands of Ukrainian troops have been treated for exposure to chemical agents, ranging from irritants like CS and CN gases to more deadly substances yet to be fully identified. The toll doesn't stop at hospitalizations. It has also been reported that 3 soldiers have died due to acute poisoning, marking a grim milestone in this escalating crisis. Meanwhile, global watchdogs are stepping in to investigate. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, or OPCW, confirmed the presence of CS riot gas in samples collected from Ukrainian battle zones. While the OPCW has refrained from identifying the source, Kyiv firmly points the finger at Moscow, accusing it of weaponizing riot control agents barred under international law. These agents, banned in war zones under the Hague's International Convention, are being weaponized in clear violation of global norms. But enforcement mechanisms remain frustratingly weak, raising critical questions about accountability. Now Ukraine fights not just for its territory, but the principles of international law. The use of chemical weapons not only devastates those on the ground, but also challenges the moral fabric of the international community. This is a warfare at its most inhuman phase. But the question now is, how far will the world go to stop it? And what price will Ukraine continue to pay while the international community deliberates?
Israel has just approved a controversial plan to double settlements in the Golan Heights, a region already fraught with tension. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says it is crucial for security after Syria's political collapse. Critics warn that this bold move could spark fresh conflict. With Assad gone and an Islamist-led coalition rising in Syria, is this expansion a strategic necessity or a dangerous gamble that could destabilize the region? For more on this, listen in to our next report.
Israel takes a bold and controversial step in a region already on the edge. The Golan Heights, a strategic and fiercely contested territory, is now set to see an unprecedented expansion of Israeli settlements. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has approved a plan to double the population of these settlements. A move, he says, is crucial for Israel's security in the wake of Syria's dramatic political collapse. With Assad gone and an Islamist-led alliance assuming power in Syria, Israel sees both opportunity and risk. The Golan expansion isn't just about settlements, it's about setting the tone for a post-Assad West Asia. But at what cost? Critics warn it could stoke fresh tensions, while the region teeters on the brink of a new order. Israel has approved a sweeping plan to expand settlements in the Golan Heights, territory captured from Syria in the 1967 Six-Day War and considered illegally occupied under international law. Prime Minister Netanyahu justified the move by citing security concerns, calling it essential due to what he described as a new front on Israel's border following the Assad regime's collapse. Currently, more than 30 Israeli settlements in the Golan Heights are home to around 20,000 settlers. The government's new plan aims to significantly increase the settler population, further entrenching Israel's hold on the disputed region. Israel's military has already moved into buffer zones along the border, citing the collapse of previous ceasefire arrangements. Meanwhile, airstrikes continue to target Syrian military facilities. The Golan Heights has always been a strategic and symbolic battleground. Now, as Syria rebuilds and Israel doubles down on its presence, the stakes couldn't be higher. So, is this expansion a calculated move to bolster Israel's security, or a dangerous gamble that could deepen regional instability?
That's all we have for you in this edition of Crossfire. You can catch us again tomorrow only on India Today Global.